Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Isabel, coming to you live from our head office in Stuttgart. Today, I'm joined by my colleague, Mary. It's great to have you here. Our topic today is At a Glance, ELO for Business Central integration, including purchase invoice processing. Before we start, I have a little more information for you. You will be muted during the webinar, but are welcome to ask your questions in the question box on the top right corner at any time. After the webinar, we will of course take the time to answer any questions you may have. You will of course receive the training materials shortly after the webinar. And now the time has come. I'm looking forward to today's presentation and welcome, Mary. I'll hand over to you now.
Thank you, Isabel, and good morning from my side. In the next 30-ish minutes, we will have a deep dive in the ELO for Business Central integration. And I hope you have made yourself comfortable, grab yourself a coffee or tea, and let's start. Couple of words to myself. My name is Marie. I work as an integration consultant and I am responsible for the Business Central integration. So most of my work is being a product owner for ELO for Business Central. And this is a perfect match because I'm a former Business Central consultant. So that's enough from my side. Let's start with the presentation itself. And I have prepared you an overview of our integrations. As you can see, we have two types of integrations. On the one hand side, we have the Microsoft 365 integrations, which are accompanied by a colleague of mine. And if you're interested in these integrations, he, Daniel, and me, we will hold a webinar in May. If you're interested in this, there we will have a focus on all the Microsoft integrations and Business Central as well. But on the other hand, we have the business integrations, and there we have integrations to several ERP and CRM systems. And of course, our integration is located there. And this is our focus today, only looking at the functions of Business Central integration. Okay, I have talked about the functionalities of the Business Central integration, and I will give you a quick overview. The first functionality is that you can use ELO functions within your Business Central environment via the fact box. And I will show you this later in the demo session. The second functionality is that we can send documents directly from Business Central to ELO via a button or via posting our documents. And I will show that to you as well. And the last functionality, which is my favorite functionality, is that we have a bidirectional connection where it allows us to publish all of our ELO information to Business Central. And there I have brought to you an example for the ELO Invoice workflow. And if you have not heard of our business solution ELO Invoice, I will give you a quick overview. And after that, I will jump into my Business Central demo. Okay, let's take a look at the process. The first step is that we receive an invoice receipt, and this can be several document types, like for example, PDF document or e-invoice, and all these document types can be processed via ELO. The next step would be that we want to extract all of our information of the invoice and check if all this data is available in Business Central and automatically fill in our form. And this is done in my showcase later via the ELO Doc Extractor, which is basically an AI instrument. And when we have extracted all of our data, we want, of course, that the main workflow of our ELO invoice is started. And within the workflow, we have several review, approval, and posting steps. And of course, within these steps, you always have a compliant archiving. And last but not least, we have the transfer of this invoice directly to Business Central, and this is my highlight. And I will show you in a minute how this looks like in Business Central. Okay, let's dive into my Kronos, which I have set up for you. I hope you can see everything. Here I have set up a Kronos AG in Business Central, which I hope you're familiar with. And we will together create a purchase order. So let's click on New. And now I will fill in all the header information. I select the Progressive Home Furnishings as my vendor. And as you can see, I have typed in the header information, and now ELO knows exactly what the number of this purchase order is with the corresponding data, and has opened now a folder within our ELO repository. But second, I want to fill in my my lines. I want to order a Paris guest chair with a quantity of 3. And also I want to order the Berlin guest chair with a quantity of 1. Okay, now I have set up my purchase order, but as you can see, the integration client on the right-hand side is pretty empty, right? So we want to change this. This is possible via drag and drop documents directly. I have some trouble with the monitors here, into this field. And you see it is highlighted in green, and I can just drop it here, and then a dialog opens. And I can type in a comment here. Let's say, good morning, everybody. I hope you're all awake, and save this comment. And now my email is located here in this folder. But it's pretty empty. Maybe I want to create a folder, which I can name PDF files or something like this. This is totally up to you. And I can save this folder, and now I can paste a PDF here. Okay, and you see that here we have a PDF, but you can also see that it's very hard to read. It's pretty small. So if we want to take a further look at it in our ELO, I can use this burger menu here and can select Open in ELO. And now the browser that is selected in the configuration is now opened. And in my case, this is the ELO web client. And I'm now directed directly to this document that we have created. And you see that we're now here on the delivery note that I have just dropped. And I can see here, okay, this is my content that I want to read. But you can also see the structure on the left-hand side. And this is an example of how we have set up our configuration. Here we have above Business Central, and below we have all of our companies. And below the companies, we have a structure for our customers, our vendors, and a folder of others. And you see that we are now here at the vendor Progressive Home Furnishings. And below this vendor, there are all of the documents that are assigned to him. So you see we have here now the purchase order, and I'm at the purchase order 2 with my PDF files and so on. Okay, I have left a comment here. Good morning, I will show it. This is readable here. But of course, we can make changes here. So I can type in another post. Let's say, for example, everything is fine. And then I can create this post. And okay, let's say we're done here. I have shown you the basic overview, and let's go back to our Business Central. And now I can update my view. I have here my order confirmation, and I have the feed view here in the integration as well, and I can go to the feed view and see, okay, my comment that I left a few seconds ago is visible in Business Central as well. So you see that all the changes that are done in the ELO client are reflected to this integration clients as well. So it's basically there in the same time. Okay, as you may see, we have set up our purchase order, and the next step in the purchase process will be that we will receive all these items, and we will receive all these items together. I will select the checkbox, receive these items, and you know this process, everything is processed in the background, and now we have received all these items. What will be the next case in our purchase process? The next step would be that the vendor sends us the invoice. So when we receive the invoice, we will go back to our ELO. And now I'm opening ELO in the full client. And you can see that I have set up here a demo ELO, and we will just copy our invoice in the inbox here in the in tray. And let's drag it here. And your Business Central, your ELO consultant will help you how to get your invoices here in the in tray. There are several possibilities. I have done it manually. You can do it as well automatically. Okay, now we have our invoice in the in tray, and I want that we file this invoice. So I click on the button File Invoice. And when I click this button, the PDF document is sent to the doc extractor, and the doc extractor will check if the content is the same content as we have in our Business Central database. And therefore, I have to switch to the verifier from the doc extractor, and I have to refresh the view here, and it takes a couple of seconds. Please stay with me. It's just the case of several seconds, and it should be there. There it is. And I will click on the new task. And you see that the invoice is loaded, and that automatically all the data that is selected here has been filled in the form. And he has some trouble with the blue highlighted fields. And this is because the system is very new. It has no experience. When you do this step here multiple times, the doc extractor will skip this verifier step, and you're automatically redirected to the workflow itself. So let's manually say the doc extractor where he can find the values. The VAT will automatically be filled in. The current currency amount is this here, I suppose, this here. And I have wrongly checked it. So here you see when I select the net amount, automatically the taxes will be calculated. And now we have a currency error here, so I will correct him and say this is this amount. And now he should be able to identify the correct fields. So I have just to check these fields. Here he normally types in 90%. Okay, now he has some errors. Can type in the VAT, and I don't know why he always. This is totally a setup error from my side. Please don't take any notice from this. In your system, it will be all good. Okay, now I have set that all my amounts here are typed in correctly. And now I can say confirm. And I will say yes. And when I confirm my verifier data, the data is now sent back to ELO. And we have to go to our tasks and refresh our view. And this can again take a couple of seconds. And patience is not my best strength, but I think it will be there in a couple of seconds. it usually takes no longer than 1 minute to appear here in the tasks. So let's check if the task will appear. There it is. And now I have to accept the workflow, and I can do it via the accept workflow button, or I can just double click on the task. And how nice it is, all the information that we have gathered within our doc extractor is now automatically filled in. Isn't that great? Okay, here for your technical input, you have the possibility to change the vendor number. Of course, in your real process, you wouldn't do this, but I will show you that it is possible to search your Business Central for your data. And here you can see that all the vendor numbers that are available within Business Central can be selected here in the dynamic keyword list. But I will stay with the progressive home furnishings because this is my vendor that I have selected. Okay, ordered by, this is me. So I will type in my name here. Okay, and the next thing would be that I want to assign some payment terms to this invoice. And here you can see that I open again a dynamic keyword list, and I will open here this payment term and load it. And then all the payment terms that are corresponding to this payment terms in Business Central are calculated within the lines here. And I can select a due date for the first line, which allows me a discount of 2%. Okay, the next thing is that we want to connect our purchase order from Business Central that we created earlier with this purchase invoice. And then I can type in purchase order, and you see that it automatically looks up all the purchase orders from this vendor in Business Central and suggests me the document number. So here I can select the document number, and this is possible with the purchase receipt as well. But keep in mind, only received purchase orders or purchase receipt can be chosen here. If your purchase order has no posted receipt, it will not be available here. Okay, let's load the purchase order items. And we get a success that all the lines are loaded, and you see automatically all the lines that we have created earlier, the 3 Paris guest chairs and the 1 Berlin guest chair, is now available here. And if I want to, I can select a cost center or a cost object, but I will skip this step and show you the footer data instead. And you may know that in Business Central, in the lines, you have the possibility to add a charge. And this is doable within the functionality in the footer data. And I will add a freight here. And the freight is, let's say, 20 euros. And if I would like, I would again add a cost center or a cost object, but I will skip it. Instead, I will choose a distribution type, and I will choose equally. And if you don't choose a distribution type on this step here, the system will automatically assign equally. Okay, now we have to let him calculate all the fields. And I can go back to my invoice data, and now here the amounts are again in black. Okay, the next step is everything is right here, everything is filled in. We can go for the approval step. And now I will send it to the approver, which in my case is again me, which in your process will totally make no sense. You will have different persons who will accept these different tasks. Okay, here's my second task. I will accept it again with a double click and approve it. And you can see here on the right hand side that all the information is written in the ELO feed. Here you can see it. Okay, this one I will go quickly over it, approve it as well. We have several approval steps. And this is totally up to you. This is the basic approval workflow from ELO Invoice. This is totally customizable. We have here now several steps. And this here is the last step, which is my favorite step, which I have told you. And this step allows you to forward all the data to our Business Central. Now I will click this button. And now the data is sent to Business Central and transferred and processed with ELO. So it takes like a minute. And in this time, I will show you here how the incoming invoices are listed in the repository. And you see that we have here a folder which is named invoice. And below that, we have all of the invoices that are corresponding to the progressive home furnishings. And this one could be the one that I have created just now. No, it's not for today. You see, I have typed in all of the information a couple of times and tested it. So in your case, it would be very easily to be seen which of the invoices belong to your invoice that will be progressed at the moment. But let me just explain you the differences. If your invoice is posted within Business Central, the color will change from blue to green. And in my case, the invoice will be transferred to Business Central as a purchase invoice and not as a posted purchase invoice. And this is up to you. It is a setting in our configuration. And there you can say, I want to post the invoices directly, or I want just a invoice in Business Central and have a closer look at it in Business Central itself and post it manually. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, my feed is not there yet. Let me just refresh everything. And as I said, I'm not the greatest with having some patience. Yeah. But what you can see as well is that every step here is documented on the right-hand side. I said it in the workflow before, but afterwards you, of course, can take a look at all the steps that have been completed. And in my case, I have done every step, which in your case would be, of course, different persons. So let's refresh again and see if my invoice is now there. And aha, tada! The invoice is there, and we receive a notification from our ELO system and can click on the link. And now we will be redirected to Business Central. And we don't have to do anything. Everything is done automatically, and the purchase invoice is now set up here. Yes. Oh, okay. Everything has worked. You see that we have the reference to our receipt. You see that we have the charge here on the last slide. And you can also see that our integration client has now a folder which is automatically been created with the PDF file itself. And you can take a closer look at it here in the repository. And of course, the last step would be that you post your purchase invoice. I will not do it now because I think you can take a look at it now, and you have no benefit if I post it now. Okay, I will show you some other thing that the integration allows you, and therefore I will take a quick break and go to the sales process. And therefore I go to the sales order. And let's quickly create a sales order together. System is only in morning mode. It's not the quickest. There it is. And I will do it for a random customer here in my database. Okay, this is the Möbelmeller KG, And I will add an item here. Let's again take the Paris guest chair. It's my favorite item. I want to sell it. And let's say 1. Okay, now I have fulfilled all of my sales order, and here you can see our sales process is so configured that 3 folders have been created automatically to this sales order here. And this is again totally up to you. You can decide which of the documents have some pre-configured folders and which are empty, as like for example my purchase order previously. And what I will show you is that we have here on the print send option and send to ELO button, and I will click it. And now when I refresh the integration client on the right, then a printed order folder appears with the sales order. And this is the report that refers to this sales order here and has now been printed in our ELO. Okay, but this is not only possible manually via sending to ELO. This is also doable if I post my sales order, and I will post it together with you and say ship and invoice. And I will open the posted invoice. And now you can see that when it opens in a second, that on the right hand side, the printed order folder has been automatically been created within the sales invoice document. And it takes quite a time. Here it is, you can see it. Okay, that has been all the 3 functionalities. Let's quickly resume them. I have shown you that we have the integration here, that we can use several actions like create folders, drag and drop some documents, that I can secondly print some documents here, which I have shown you just right now. And my favorite is the invoice process where it's possible to process documents from ELO and send them directly to our Business Central. Okay, that would be everything from my side. Let's go back to the presentation. Thank you very much for your patience and for your time. I hope I see you or hear you in the next time again, and have a very good day.